Welcome back, fellas, to another day in the NBA. It is Friday, February 21st, and we do have a pretty big slate for today. Again, as you guys know, we're going to waste no time and hop straight into this slate for today. Starting with the Bucks going against the Wizards. Should be a blowout of a game. -8 here from what I have. Should be pretty comfortable for Milwaukee to come away with this win. The Wizards are still awful. They're going to continue to tank. Not overthinking that one. Memphis is -3 here against Orlando because Orlando's on a back-to-back. I do like Memphis in this game, but I think it's really close. I still lean Memphis -3, but not by too much. Knicks against the Cavs. Going to be an interesting one. Right now, there's still a few people questionable that we're waiting on, like OG Anunoby and a few others from the Knicks side of things. Obviously, the Cavs are good to go. I think the Cavs end up taking this one -7. The Heat versus Toronto. Miami's only a -4. This one's a real toss-up for me. I don't love either team right now. The Raptors are still in shambles with their rotation. They don't really have a solid 3 through 5 right now. So I think I'm going to lean Miami here -4. Taking a lot of favorites as the start, but I'm going to take the Pelicans side of the Dallas -5.5. They're running a small ball lineup with PJ Washington at the center. I think that's going to hurt them in the long run, and I think Zion's going to be able to have a pretty big day against this Dallas team as well as a few other guys on that Pelicans team. And I think the Pelicans are just able to cover the +5.5. Pistons against the Spurs. I think the Pistons end up taking this one. Spurs are on a back-to-back. Pistons are only -4.5. I feel like that's a really good value. OKC -15. Don't even think about it against the Jazz. And then obviously we have the Minnesota versus Houston game, which most people are looking forward to. Houston at -3.5. I like that. Again, a lot of people still questionable for the Wolves right now. We have Ant still questionable. Conley still questionable. We have a few guys questionable there for them to play, but I think they're all going to play anyway. But I am going to take Houston -3.5 either way without Fred VanVleet. And then the Warriors against the Kings. I like Golden State to cover the -1.5. I think Golden State ends up winning this game despite running their small ball lineup with Draymond at the center. They've been looking good with Jimmy Butler, so I expect them to continue to roll and for them to catch the W here. Heading into our recap over the past 2 days, we did have a little bit of a skid here going 1-4 and minusing 3.48 units. It does stink. I get it. But again, it is what it is. That's kind of how the things roll. We go on a hot streak last week, the week before, and now we're in a little bit of a cold streak. But that's fine. We live with it. We can move on. We are still +6.9 units on the month. Again, Trae Young, that was a shitty read by me. He ended up going off, having a ton of attempts, ton of field goal attempts. The Joel Embiid under I threw in at the end of the video did cash. I'm not going to add that to the slip because I didn't make it an official play, but that was funny when I was like, I don't know if I like it. I don't know what the hell to do. That under did cash. He only scored 15. Tyrese Halliburton had the most streaky shooter of all time. He might be officially on my banned list. And then Paolo Banchero ended up cooking as always. Shout out Victor Wembanyama, the blood clots. That's just sad to see. I think he's going to bounce back in a pretty big way, though. He will be fine. He's only 21 years old. But Miles Bridges ended up missing the day before that, having a ton of chances. It's just sadly he wasn't able to go over the 7.5 mark. And Luka, his shaken self, was not able to cash here on the points. With that all being said, we're going to hop straight into the plays for February. Yeah, I already said February. We're up 6.9 units. Anyway, heading on to the plays for today. Starting with Jalen Duren to go over 11.5 rebounds. I'm getting it to -125 on FanDuel. A little bit of juice here, but he's facing Bismack Biyombo. Again, there's no Victor Wembanyama, which makes me feel great about this line. Bismack Biyombo, again, old head in the league, old veteran, but I just don't think he really gets it done for me. Either way, the Spurs allow the 4th most rebounds this season, and Duren's averaging over 21 rebound chances over the course of his past 10 games per game. And he's hit this over in 6 of the last 10 games, averaging 12.3 rebounds per game. But they're also favored to win this game. And again, I think they're going to win this game. And when they do win games, he's hit this in 7 of his last 8 games and 11 of the last 15 players to have the same play style, according to props.madness. They've gone over this line versus the Sacramento team. San Antonio team. Pretty much the way I think about it. Again, San Antonio off a back-to-back, plus no Wemby. I think Jalen Duren, coming off 8 days of rest, is going to play a high minutes load here. 30 minutes I'm looking for. When he plays 30 minutes, it is damn near a guarantee he's going to see at least 20 rebound chances. So with that being said, against Bismack Biyombo, I think he's able to cook here and snag a 12 rebounds. It's also favored on most books, so getting 11.5 feels great. Domantas Sabonis over 14.5 rebounds is our next play, wasting no time hopping straight into it. Golden State, another small ball lineup. Golden State running Draymond at the 5. Again, 6'7", 6'7". Anyway, versus Domantas Sabonis, 6 of the last 8 centers versus Draymond Green. With him at the 5, gone over on their rebounding lines. And Domantas Sabonis is coming off a 28 rebound game before the All-Star break. Now, is he going to do something like that? Definitely not. But we will see a high rebound chances. He's averaging over 26 rebound chances per game in his past 10 games this season, as well as Golden State allows the second most rebounds to opposing centers. And again, now they're running small ball. Again, Jimmy's there, so maybe Jimmy will make it a little bit tougher. But Domantas has been absolutely crushing this line, hitting this in 4 of the last 4 games this season, soaring way over this mark with the rebound chances. So again, with rebounds, I can't really go into like any super niche numbers here. They're pretty straight up, and I think just Sabonis is going to be able to dominate the backboard here and cash out on his rebounds. In that same game, I'm going to take Jimmy Butler to go over 20.5 points at -128 on FanDuel. Since joining Golden State, he's seen a huge usage bump, right? With Miami, he was at around 19%. Since joining Golden State, he's now at about 25%. With Golden State, he's attempted 12+ field goal attempts in each game while playing over 28 minutes per game. And Sacramento ranks dead last versus stopping power forwards this season, as well as in the past 7 games. I know we like to have a little bit of recency here. Over the past 7 games, they've allowed the second most points to opposing power forwards, so they still can't stop the power forward. Plus, their defensive rotation since adding Zach LaVine has been all over the place. They've been trying to play some zone. They've been trying to play some man. They've been switched to a 2-3, a 3-2, constantly back and forth, and just can't seem to figure it out. So I'm going to continue to take power forwards against this team. And Sacramento's allowed the second most 3-point attempts, the 5th most field goal attempts to opposing power forwards this season. I think Jimmy, in a big way, can have a pretty big game here. He's only hit this in 1 of 4 games with Golden State so far. I think this is going to make game 2, and he should easily crush this line. Again, a little bit of juice there, but I really like the play, so I'm going to take it. Franz Wagner, -120 on ESPN, bet over 25.5 points. Coming off the back-to-back, but Memphis allows his second most points to opposing small forwards. Franz has hit over this line in 3 of the last 4 back-to-backs, so I'm not really too worried about the back-to-back narrative there. And Memphis allows the 13th most points to the pick-and-roll ball handler, which is 21% of Franz's points. Not only that, but they allow the 3rd and 2nd most free throw attempts. They allow this 3rd and 2nd most free throws, points to free throws, and transition buckets, which make up over 36% of his points. So a total of quick mass, 57% of his points, they're ranked bottom 13 and more like bottom 3 against. So I think Franz can have a pretty big day here. Set over this mark in 64% of home games this season. So again, great matchup at home for him. He's averaging 21 field goal attempts per game. We don't know if Paolo's going to play. As of right now, he's questionable, so we'll see. But I think he will. With that being said, I think Franz is going to have a pretty big game here. 25.5 points feels like nothing for him. So 26 feels like a good spot to me in a perfect matchup at home where he plays just traditionally better. Yeah, so those are my 4 plays for the day. That's all I have for you guys. Let's hopefully turn it around today, as we didn't in the start of the week. So I'm looking for a pretty big Friday here. Friday's been pretty good to us over the past course of the month and a half. Only had 1 bad Friday. So hopefully we can continue that trend here today and bounce back on Friday as we always have, and have a pretty big day here. So again, make sure to let me know what plays you guys are taking in the comments below, and make sure to like, subscribe, all that sort of fun shit, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.